So, Circuital, the idea of ending up the same place where you started out, kind of an odd name for a record. Was that the idea going in?
There were no ideas going in, really. It just kind of happened that way. I mean, it happened. You mentioned a few seconds ago, like the phrase "returning to your roots" or whatever. Like, it kind of happened that we did that physically. We had planned to get together in Louisville to rehearse and kind of knock around some songs, and we found this really beautiful old gymnasium that we set up our stuff in, and we just, once we got in there after a day or two, we were like, oh my God, this place is amazing. Let's just stay here and make the record here. So what would have been knocking around the songs and demoing the songs kind of turned into just making the record in that space. So in some ways we had found ourselves, we'd come full circle and we were back in the same place that we started. And just thinking about that concept while I was writing that song, and just kind of just humans or any living being, we're all born from this strange void that nobody knows what it is. People can try to label it with different religious overtones and try and guess and stab at it, but you really don't know. Nobody knows. And we all are out on the circuit doing our things, doing our lives all over the world and or other galaxies or whatever. And then you got to return to the void. Nobody knows where it is. So everybody has to complete the same circuit. And I was kind of thinking about that in a miniature way, like, no matter how different you are or similar you are, your friends, your enemies, your neighbors, like everybody, that you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
If you're a living being on this planet, you've got to complete this circuit that everybody has to do.
That's pretty cosmic.
I don't like that phrase, return to roots, because it sounds like you're trying to do something that you already did again, which I don't. Yeah. I mean, I feel like if you're an artist, you definitely have a voice, or you have like common threads that will run through all your work, anything you ever do. But at the same time, I'm always trying to do something new. And I feel like this record, we're still trying to do new things, and there's obvious elements that are always going to run through everything we do, but we're always trying to do new things. So,
well, when I read phrases like that, return to roots or return to form, very often it seems to me it's more about the reviewer being a little more comfortable with what you're doing, having a sense of, oh, I know what this is. Whereas on the last record, I think there were a lot of reviewers saying, I don't know what this is.
Yeah.
It was, that was a little more of a departure, maybe a little bit. It seemed like it was
some of it was. I mean, I don't know. That to me is fun. I think people don't let themselves have enough fun with music. I mean, I'm not saying everybody has to like everything we do just because I think it's hilarious or whatever. But I just feel like everybody's all serious about it, and they're like, like it's, I don't know. I mean, part of music to me is fun and comedy, and that's life. Like that's kind of part of it. Like I don't want to be all serious all the time.
What about a song like Slow, Slow Tune? I mean, even it's a slow tune, but the title, Slow, Slow Tune, it's almost like daring us to find an element of humor here. Is that?
I guess so, yeah. It's definitely a slow tune.
And is this basically, the band live in the studio?
Yeah, that's.
The band is My Morning Jacket. The new album's called Circuital.